105.
105.
Yeah. Here's the flute again.
What's up, y'all?
We're going to talk about rejection. We've all been.
Rejection?
Yeah,
man. Yeah, we
thought we were going to do the other one, right?
I know it came out of nowhere, but yeah, we're doing rejection.
Okay, let's do that one.
He was already
like, well, alright, this is a complete lead ball.
Hey,
we're talking about.
remember,
Right.
We were just coming up with the subtopics for this.
No, I gotta do it now. You rejected the idea of that one now.
And now he has to
doing this
self-control.
one.
He has to self-control himself.
Whoa.
This is
the future.
This is gonna bleed into the
next
self-control.
one.
How
The next
Romo
one
has
will
to
be
control his emotions after all
being
the
rejected. But we didn't even know we were rejecting them. That's the thing. A lot of times people are rejected and they don't even they're not even being rejected. They feel rejected.
Why do you feel rejected? Because we went with the other idea.
No, I just threw that out there. I was like, I got caught by left ball. Like, oh, I thought we were doing that one.
My left ball.
I was using that to segue into what we're talking about.
What is the real out of left field?
So who's gonna start off with an experience you had with rejection? I can if you want me to.
Go ahead.
Obviously, it's gonna be a female. The one I remember. I remember I was like 18, 19, and I met this chick who was like 21, I think going on 22, and things seemed real good, you know? Things seemed real nice. We're hanging out almost every day, you know? We're kicking it. We're having pretty deep conversations and this and that, you know? We were making plans to do shit and blah, blah, blah. And then...
Like, what kind of plans? Like getting married and shit?
Nah. Like, for example, my birthday. My birthday was coming up, and she, you know, this girl was like, I got a special gift for you. Wink, wink. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, I'm gonna get to unwrap this pussy. You know what I'm saying? And then what ended up happening, like 4 days from my birthday, I get a text from her. I was like, hey, I don't think it's good that we talk. You know, I don't want to end up hurting.
She told you that?
Yep.
Damn.
I remember that was the night I had made, because I used to make a lot of mixed CDs, you know, with different tracks, what was hot, you know what I'm saying? And that was Lil Wayne's Lollipop had just dropped. That song had just came out. I had just gotten the perfect CDQ quality of the song, and I put it on a mix that I was gonna put on that was gonna burn and jam out while I'm kicking it with her, right?
Yeah, for your birthday.
And I used to work the night shift back then. So what happened is after I got that text, I had to go into work, and I was going to work, listen to Lollipop all sad, just around the night. It was pathetic. It was pathetic, but you know, I had to deal with that shit because, hey, you know, what can you do, right? You know, you got rejected, but it wasn't obvious to a future date that I realized, yeah, you know what, this girl, she was way too experienced, and she had a pretty wild extracurricular lifestyle.
She kind of did you a favor.
Yeah, I was eventually going to get hurt because I knew nothing about relationships, nothing about emotions and women, and maybe she would have been good to check me as far as like how to not overstep my boundaries, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, I think it would have been a disaster, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that rejection ended up being a good thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I could tell you, let me see. No, y'all go ahead. Go ahead. Who's up next?
I mean, one of the times I was rejected was with my, like after I had already made a bunch of mistakes, and then I was trying to make it work again with my son's mom.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't meant to be, but the rejection was so like, because it felt like double rejection, because I'm like, because I'm trying to act super active and be in his life all the time, you know what I mean? And us separating would mean that I wouldn't be there all the time. Mm-hmm. And that led me into depression, but then it led me eventually to really live when I was with my son, to make sure that we live. Shout out to the last episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just sitting there like, hey, where you at, boy? Mom, put your phone on TV and I'll be back.
Huh?
It wasn't just...
Right. Well, yeah. I wasn't one of those dads.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I have to make every moment
count.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. So he has good memories of it, right?
Yeah. And if he fucks up, it's not my fault. No, I'm just kidding.
So you're saying that rejection led to you motivating you to be a better father?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, one did happen after the other. I don't know if it was the cause of or, the effect, but definitely, yeah.
You want to throw one in there, little man?
So I'm talking about love rejection.
Nah, you can talk about rejection from a colleague.
But if that's what you want to talk about, then
I thought that's what it's going with.
Rejected?
I've got multiple ones.
Rejected from Amazon?
Nah, I ain't rejected from Amazon. They actually wanted me to work for them. That's the crazy part. But
I bet you it's hard.
nah, I remember this. It was for a chick, and I was trying to win her back. You know, and I felt like I was doing all the right things. You know, I went and got her this rose bear, these little pretty little bears that are
I've
shaped
seen
with
them.
roses and whatnot.
Yeah.
I got it in her favorite color. I remember
Like $100 and shit.
Nah, it was like
70.
it was like 15.
Oh, okay.
Decent. But
Still pretty bad.
I sprayed it.
It's fast.
I even learned how to tie a knot. I even learned how to tie something. I had to be creatively tying something.
Like a bow?
Because I had to untie the bow because I sprayed the bear with my cologne. And then I put a note inside of it. So when she opens it, you know, she can see the note.
Y'all together?
We weren't. I was trying to win her back.
Oh,
I was trying
okay.
to win her heart back.
After rejection.
Yeah.
The first rejection.
No, it wasn't after the first rejection. It was, well, I guess you could say she broke up with me.
Oh.
It was just kind of like we went on our own separate path for a little while. It was what it seemed like in my eyes. But we were trying to work things out, trying to see where things go, and you know, this is my opportunity to try to be like, you know, to try to win her heart back. At least in my eye, or in my mind, how I thought it was gonna work out. And I told her meet me up at the lake that we both knew, because this was the lake that we went on the first day at. This is where I was gonna present it to her at.
Yeah.
And even in the letter that I wrote, which she's never read, and I still have it somewhere. I don't know if I kept it in the safe or put it somewhere or whatever. But that was what I talked about in the letter. Was where we went on our first date. Was over there at the lake. And I sent her a message, and I used to leave these notes on her car. These cute little notes that I would put on her car, and when she would get out of work, she would always read them. And I used to leave a rose with it, so that's what I did on that day. I bought her a rose and I put her on there. I had a bouquet of roses with that, her favorite chocolates. And I'm expecting her when she gets off to go meet me at the lake. So I'm sitting there for about maybe a couple hours.
Just to be clear, y'all, it was a coworker. That's why you were able to put the notes on her car. You weren't just driving across town and they put the notes in her car and then dipping out and shit. Just for the listener.
Nah.
Yeah. For those who don't know the backstory.
But yeah, I told her to meet me there, and I messaged her, and I'm like, hey, you know, are you busy? She kind of like is one way to me or whatever. And I'm like, hey, you know, can you meet me up here at the lake? And she's like, I really don't want to talk to you. Like, I really don't want to. She didn't say it in that way, but that's how I took it as, like, you know, I really want to talk to you. She's like, I'm tired. I'm, you know, a little annoyed from work. I'm like, okay, well, I have something for you. I thought this is me simping at this point. I think me telling her, you know, hey, I have something for you. She's like, I don't want anything from you, and I don't want to have anything to do with you.
Yeah, it's cold.
And I wanted to ask why, but I left it at that. So I'm sitting here at the lake, and I'm with this bear, and I'm with all this, and, you know, it starts to rain. Poetically, it's fucking crazy.
Can't even light the bear on fire.
I wouldn't have done that. It's horrible.
Why?
I petty ass gave it to me.
To your niece?
Yeah, because she wanted one. So I gave it to her.
So what is it? What do they feel like? Is it like real roses?
No, it's kind of like foam roses, but it's the
Like velvet, like a kind of
Something
rough
like that,
texture,
yeah.
like a velour.
something like that.
Sounds gross.
But yeah, you know, I felt like
But that's cool.
it hurt like some bitch because, you know, I gave up my whole heart to do something like that, you know, and for me to be kind of rejected by it. I mean, but it was good in a sense because it let me know like where we stood.
Yeah.
Just for a while, I didn't know where me and her stood,
Right.
and her kind of doing that kind of established it. And
Thank you for finally being clear.
then it took a sense. It took a while for me to kind of take it.
Yeah.
And I kind of just slipped into a depression from it for a little while and led into me kind of drinking more. But throughout all that, after I accepted everything that happened, I mean, I grew into being better. You know, I'm more acceptance of what it is. I really don't care about being rejected because it's always going to be one door closes, another one's going to open. And I have a more positive outlook instead of being so negative. And in that one moment, spurred maybe a tale of bad things, but in those bad things, I did a lot of good, and I figured out a lot of things about myself. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have figured these things out.
you feel like you want to die, and then once you get over it, you're reborn. It's like the phoenix.
Yeah, like I said, those are like the scars of life. You know what I'm saying? And if you can get through these events, like not fall apart, not break down. You know what I'm saying? Or at least when you do, pick yourself back up. You know what I'm saying? Get through it.
You know, it's the worst kind of rejection.
What's
from your parents?
Ouch.
Like your father. Like you want
advice, and you don't get it from
or you want affirmation that they're proud of you, or you just want some kind of. But our fathers aren't like, and we kind of talked about our dad trauma, but like our fathers don't really offer that kind of expressive love.
Yeah.
Like we are. Like how we're able to be more sensitive.
We're breaking generational curses. Snake preview.
Yeah. So yeah, getting and then I hear horror. There's more of like other people. Like I hear stories about people like with their parents getting rejected. Like they just want love and shit. And the parents are just like, you get fed. I don't need to like I don't need to spend any time with you. So that's hardcore because that's from your creation. So it's different than love rejection. But if you have that kind of rejection and you don't have it resolved, once you get into relationship rejection, it can make it even intensified.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to. Yeah. I mean, how do you deal with that?
Deal with rejection?
Parent rejection.
You got to take it in that parental cycle. Like you're just gonna have to take it and say, okay, when I have my own son, I'm not gonna do that.
And they probably have their best intentions. They probably have good intentions.
Or if you see your cousins, like one of your young cousins, they see their dad's not very cool. You can do that for them.
Right.
Take them out, or your nephew, niece, whatever it is.
Right. They can get it from you or something.
But you do at first have to make peace with it. You have to first understand why you're being rejected or feeling, because you know what, like when I felt rejected by my mom, that I wasn't ever going to get that kind of loving advice I was looking for, that I felt that I needed so desperately, right? It bummed me out, but then I realized, you know what, my mom has been stepping up, for her whole life, since she had me, right? After I was 3 or 4, her and my dad divorced, so she was a single working mother, so she had to play both roles. She had to play the role of mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? So I can't. So she's been in this go mode and this mode.
Right. It wasn't her intent.
Yeah.
To quote unquote.
It's just that she's taking the job so serious that she didn't learn how. She kind of forgot that other part. The part that normally would be a little more nurturing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I can't hate her for that. When we talked about our dads and how we forgive them, it's like you have to understand that they have no idea how to communicate. Heart to heart. They were never shown that. They probably had it hard growing up. They probably had abusive dads. Dads who were cheaters, abusers, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Alcoholics. And
non-existent.
And we have to be able to forgive that. They just don't know what they don't know, bro. You know what I'm saying? They don't know, but we do, and we can break those curses.
Right.
Sneak peek. Last week I got rejected from sleep. I was trying to sleep, and then it just, bro. I was going to sleep, and then some noise outside started happening, and it fucked me up. But you know what? I had made a promise that night. I said I'm not gonna get mad. I'm gonna practice my breathing exercises, and I did, and it kept me calm. I maybe got 2 hours of sleep, but I got like 3 or 4 hours of practicing my breathing that night. So ever since then, my breathing has been really good as far as when I go meditate or go do yoga and stuff. So you know what? Even though I got rejected that night, it led to something bigger and better. You know what I'm saying? My breathing techniques are better. And for yoga, meditating is really good to get your breathing strong. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think, well, except for one of the dogs that we had. Usually, I've never been rejected by animals or babies. Babies and animals.
That hurts, right? When a baby rejects you.
I bet it hurts.
Especially when
I don't know.
Especially when just a few days ago they were all up on you, like playing with you, and then you go like, oh, I want to go with you, like, oh,
right.
Baby.
Or can you imagine like if a baby's not used to like an old person, and then the old person gets, or like if they're not used to old people, and there's babies that are afraid of old people.
Hell yeah.
And then you imagine getting rejected by this innocent thing. It's like, oh, you piece of shit, baby. Get out of here.
Like that chess loss you handed me earlier, where that pawn.
When I rejected you.
You rejected my victory there. I was about to get your bitch ass.
Oh, can I? Because you were like, oh, I want a queen, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, look at you.
I was like, yeah, you want one, but it's not gonna happen.
Exactly. You rejected my winning, but because of that rejection, it made me better in the next match. You know.
Right, you beat me the next match.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
that's right.
I beat you pretty nicely, if I might add so myself.
Yeah.
And you know, so rejection leads to bigger and better things if you can take it the right way. Not take it as like, oh, you know, like just getting mad. You know, like take it as a lesson. You know, remember, a little warrior I know said it well. You win. There is no. You know, W's and L's, right? There is no losses. It's a lesson. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, even like you know, like I don't know how it is now, but I remember there was a period of time where it's like you had to learn to talk to girls, and it's like it's a new thing. Like when you're young,
all those times you look back and it's like, man, that was so stupid what I did.
But you have to go through those rejections and those fuck ups to get better.
I'm convinced that every smooth player was once a really weak.
Well, it's all about numbers.
Yeah,
it's a numbers game, and that's what I've always like heard and learned and stuff. It's like the more you. I mean, yeah, you might get rejected a bunch, but then there's gonna be somebody who's like, wow, you're very confident because you tried it. You're doing it.
The realest king started as beggars. You know what I'm saying?
Well, really?
Worked their way up. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, they were probably like washing the windshields at least, trying to do something.
I'll tell you one rejection that made me like, man, never wanted to be. I know this is a little bitch thing to say, but bro, it made me never want to be the guy that would like want to do a layup in basketball.
Why? What happened? You got rejected. You got rejected.
Bro, I got rejected so nasty by some tall ass dude. I got so butthurt. I was like, you know what? I learned how to play defense, and I started learning how to do that to them.
You hit him with that Matumbo. Oh, I remember.
It pissed me off and it humiliated me so bad. It motivated me to that point where I started doing that to them.
You know,
played hard.
But I didn't want to, you know, drive to the paint and do a layup. Like, fuck all that. I ain't doing it. I ain't feeling that embarrassment, but I'll sure as hell do that to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, back when I was younger, I used to love playing video games. And I was playing this one video game, I forget which Grand Theft Auto game it was, but I kept getting rejected from passing this one level. And it was horrible. And it led to me quitting that game and quitting playing video games altogether. But you know
good
what?
Rejection.
Yes. I got off my ass and finally stop becoming a loser and learn to go become a cool guy. You know what I'm saying?
It's good and bad that they made video games more complicated. Because for some people, that means that they invested a lot of time.
At least back then, you could just invest a little bit of time, play a couple hours, and be okay. Now, bro, you gotta like live that whole.
You gotta invest. You have to learn.
But that's also something that for those
it can help some.
Streamers,
yeah.
That's how they make their living now.
Lazy motherfucker.
And then I mean, if you're able to compartmentalize and then set a time like, okay, I'm gonna play an hour of this.
Streamer, unless you want to sponsor us.
Yeah, we'll play. I don't even know. Like, we'll play Mario Kart. I wish we could do
chess,
that.
bro.
Oh yeah.
They play chess.
Online chess is a giant community. You don't even know. You don't even know.
Bro, it is.
Man, we would. I think we would do. But what we would have to do like a different channel.
We could.
Another rejection
to our games.
At least that I've had to face in my life was rejection from school.
What do you mean?
College. SMU.
Oh, yeah, I got rejected from SMU.
How'd you? It was like a football thing, or?
No, it was just.
Just wanted to go.
I just wanted to go for academics.
Yeah.
Got rejected for them because I didn't have the good ACT scores.
So touch my feet. Damn, that's crazy, bro.
Texas Tech rejected me. UTSA rejected me.
He would have never become the cool guy.
Yeah, you would have been a douche, probably.
I got accepted by other colleges.
Which ones? But you didn't want to go to those.
No, there was one I was dead set on going.
He decided to go to school hard knocks.
Pretty much. But it was a Sam Houston State. But I could not get the scholarship.
SHU?
I had a lot of rejection from scholarship. So I deal with a lot of that. But in a sense, it made me see in a sense, it lit a fire in me to not only figure out what I really wanted to go do, but in a sense, it's kind of like, fine, fuck y'all then. Y'all want all these money just to go do something that I can go learn on my own. So that's just back to what I basically do. And really I have a lot of knowledge from college courses you can take just by learning it online, by finding it, by going and doing the actual research.
Right.
You gotta work a little harder, but you can figure out the same thing without having to pay for a college degree. But I only figured all that out because I faced a rejection from all these colleges that wanted me to go, and they're willing to accept me because I've met the academic requirements, but I couldn't meet the financial requirements, which is some bullshit.
And you couldn't get financial aid, or it's only a little bit that they give you anyway.
Yeah, I could only pay for about 11,000 of it, but the rest of it I was not willing to take. $6,000, $7,000 in loans just to pay for the room and board, and then I still have to figure out how the fuck I'm gonna eat.
Yeah, this is crazy, bro.
You know, you're basically asking me to kind of be homeless
Yeah.
and then take on a massive amount of debt just for a college degree that I might not even want to do. And I even changed it, even in between that time. I didn't even want to be a historian when I first wanted to go to college. I wanted to be a criminal, investigator. Or go learn forensic science.
Yeah.
And then I figured out that, well, I fucking hate physics. So it was like not gonna work. So when I finally learned my true passion, which was history, then
It's a scam, bro. The way they have it set up.
but all that, me figuring out what I really want to do in my life and who I really was, all came from that rejection of those colleges. If I went to college, like I said, I probably would not be who I am.
Interesting.
Now that's just only the second reason. The main reason why I didn't go to college was because of job. Was because of my nephew.
I got rejected from working at Target a long time ago.
Well, that was back when it was lame.
Back when he was lame.
It didn't get
I mean, I
cool.
guess,
it,
but
didn't, it didn't get cool until like sometime the last year and a half.
This is true.
I don't know. But
To
everything
clarify-
happens. That's when I went to go work at.
Levine.
Yeah. So everything happens for a reason. I
You
got
wouldn't-
rejected for
you
that, so I
wouldn't-
can go there.
You don't know.
To
you
clarify,
wouldn't
I
know
don't
me?
want it to make it seem like my nephew just kind of like ruined my college dreams. No. I
Alright,
chose to stay
alright.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you didn't even say anything about your nephew.
But
I did,
well, no,
but I made it sound like I was because of him.
Like
I
you were
stayed
forced to.
home. No, I wasn't forced.
No, you
I
made the
chose.
decision. Yeah, we're never forced to do anything. We always have free will. You can't blame it, especially like that's some bullshit when people blame their kid or something like. Nah, you just.
That happened for a reason, and it kept me from like again going off to something that probably was
You
not
could have
worth
gotten into some trouble up in college.
You know what's the biggest rejection that gives you a lesson right away? When your when your car gets rejected, your debit card is like, man, I gotta do some
rejection.
analyzing. I'm living wrong right now.
My ears turn red in front of the middle of the store in front of everybody else.
Just
like,
take your car back and walk the fuck out with your head down. You know what I'm saying? And
Put
just-
your hoodie on
Yeah.
and dip out.
Yeah, so rejection, right? It's awesome, and obviously it sucks at first,
But you
But
gotta
it's for a
learn from
reason.
it. It's the only way that you can.
What's the opposite of rejection?
Acceptance.
Yeah,
Is it
Yeah, right.
pretty much.
What do you mean? Push and pull.
to reject, to accept?
It's to reject.
Acceptance is amazing, right?
Whoa! You trying to hijack the podcast now?
No, but I'm just saying, like, so the opposite of rejection is acceptance,
Yeah.
and acceptance can
Rej-
come from rejection.
Oh, yeah, they can look. It's a cycle, right? They can lead to both. Opposites sometimes.
Right. You can't appreciate acceptation without rejection.
Yeah, exactly. I wouldn't appreciate the swag and the drip that I have now if I didn't spend so many years as a fat loser with
Made
no
fun of,
self-esteem.
rejected
who
by
was bullied
society,
and shit. Yeah, I would
cool
just be a
people.
douchebag. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But no, I know better. I've been the ugly duckling, and now I'm the golden phoenix. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I know what it is. You know
I used
what
to
I'm
be that guy who used to look at like actual fit people that did fit, like body fitness and whatnot. I used to look at that like, damn, I used to want to be that. Like I used to want to look like these guys. Now I look like one. And now people are looking at me like that.
Yeah.
Instead of being the douchebag that I met when I was younger, when I was really young, instead of him looking at me like a fat slob and not wanting to train me.
Judging you.
Yeah, being judgmental, I'm not like that with people. I wanna
Right. It's like
actually
if they're
help
a
people.
boring fucking fit or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many? What's the clock at?
23.
That's a great amount of
That's not
time
bad.
for talking about
That's not
rejection.
bad.
Are we gonna talk about any ideas about rejection? Or
Rejection.
should we just go ahead and accept the end of this rejection podcast?
Yeah, hey, you know what?
Fuck it.
Stop rejecting yourself.
Yeah.
Accept yourself. You know what I'm saying? You're beautiful.
Love yourself.
Love
Be
yourself.
yourself.
Eject the reject.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my god!
Man, now you sound like me from a couple episodes
Sounds
ago.
like the 80s.
I don't know. I'm just trying to find
Like
a
a-
phrase for anything. Trying to
yeah.
rhyme something.
Trying to rhyme something.
Eject the
and-
reject.
And then you re-rhyme it after you rhyme it.
If you stay on the line, you're gonna shine.
And be nice when you
Type of
reject
shit.
people. But hey, but you have to reject people sometimes. Be firm when you reject people because sometimes like guys don't understand until you firmly
Chances-
reject them.
I'm gonna pee and then we're gonna play chess after you wrap this up.
Chances make champions. You gotta risk it all
Chances
to win
make
all.
champions, yeah. You gotta
Risk
risk
it
it
all
all.
to
Risk
win
it
it
all
all.
for the biscuit.
You gotta risk it for the biscuit.
Alright,
And
we'll
you
end it
gotta
like
face
that.
that rejection in order for you to elevate. I don't know. I can't make that rhyme, Chris. I'm not a rapper, bro. I'm not ever been that way and never will be.
You might be.
You never know. Unless you teach me, but I don't think that'll happen. I'll get rejected by Chris, too.
Damn. I love you, bro.
All right, bro.
Love ya.
Peace.